All right. First and foremost, I of course want to start off by giving all praises and honors to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the gospel of this truth. Um, I'm just I'm just sitting here pissed off right now, man. It doesn't really matter, exactly, why. There's really not a situation on why I'm angry. In particular, I mean, we could name 100 reasons to be pissed off. But there's not like an incident, so to speak, of oh, over there's a dust tornado. Anyway, um, uh, I was just thinking about a couple things, man, and I was thinking, over the past few weeks, I've been bringing out the scripture that's in Revelation chapter 2. It says, we have tried them who said they are apostles, and we have found them to be liars. Okay, that's been a hot scripture lately. And I'm going to continue to keep using that scripture. Okay, because I'll quote it again. We have tried them who said they are apostles, and we have found them to be liars. That's in Revelation chapter 2. And the reason that's so important is when you're dealing with these Christians, man. Okay, now we know, those of us who know the scriptures, the false prophet in the book of Revelation is talking about the Roman Catholic Church, which really is all denominations of Christianity, and really all religions on earth. Now I'm going to come out and say this: there's only three groups um, on earth today, as of this moment, who really have the true testimony of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Now I want to make this clear that there are individuals out there who might not subscribe to these three groups, um, but they might also have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. For example, when the Lord's apostles went through certain lands, they found individuals who were teaching about Jesus, right, about Yahweh Shai, but they did not want to go with the apostles. They wanted to do their own, ministry, but they were still teaching the truth. So the Lord said, "Yeah, let them do it. It's all right." Um, so actually, hold on. There you go. You can now see me better. Um, so um, you're gonna have brothers in this truth who don't necessarily want to be under. Let's say, for example, brothers might like me, but they don't want to be under me. They don't want to be under Yasha. Okay. They don't want to be in ETT. That's all good. Okay. They can go out and make their own, little camp. Okay. Because really, a lot of us are one man camps. Okay. So just because I say there's three groups that have the truth right now on earth, that doesn't that does not leave out these individuals who teach the same doctrine but don't come under a banner of any of these groups. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Okay. Um, First group, of course, is the Great Millstone GMS, which is the top group of all Israel today on earth, starting with the elder apostle Dahar, Gabar, Ramlab, and Rakah. Okay, which are the true elders of all Israel today. Okay, then next up you have the Sicarii. Okay, starting off with, of course, the head guerrilla Hebrew Alizé or Alazar, however you like to whatever you like to say. Sicarii is the second group. The third group is us here at the End Time Teachers, ETT. Okay, and why can I sit there and say that my little group and my teachings are superior, and why we're part of the top three groups? It's very simple. Look at our teachings, man. Okay, is there really anyone who can really refute the information that we're given? Now, keep in mind, all three of us, we all have different little, tweaks in what we teach from each other. Say, for example, me and GMS, right? ETT and GMS, we both teach that Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, is dealing with bride kidnapping. We both teach that. Sicarii doesn't teach that. One thing that GMS and Sicarii teaches that we don't teach is Romans 13 is talking about the government, but that's not what it's talking about if you read the entire thing. But guess what? We're all still one body in Yahweh Shai, even though we have these little differences. Okay? I want to make that clear. Okay. Um. So anyway, what are some things to be vexed about, man? Okay. I was just thinking about how unjust America truly is, man. Say for example, you have a lot of people, many people in prison now, who are there falsely, as in convicted of crimes they did not commit. And some of them are petty and bullshit, such as they call them child molesters, which there are some men who are in prison for actually molesting children, which is, say, for example, a man sleeps with a 3-year-old, which is totally detestable, and according to the holy book is a sin unto death. Okay? Which is funny because they're on there teaching that you got these other groups on there saying that GMS are child molesters and pedophiles. I got people saying that about me, of course, simply because we teach that according to the Bible, the age of consent is sexual maturity, which that's according to the Bible. That's in Ezekiel 16 and 1 Corinthians. So that's in the holy book. But you see, these groups like Sicarii, they don't really teach that though because they don't really know what they're talking about. But as I said, they're still they're still the body in Yahweh Shai, but they don't got the whole, they don't got the whole truth. Okay, but as I said, we still owe those brothers respect. All right, ones who do not get respect is ISUPK and LUIC and GOCC. Those are free groups that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he is not dealing with those groups. All right. Um, but pretty much, man, I could go on for a long while, um, with this subject, man. All right, but going off of what I was saying about those who are in prison, who are in prison falsely, um, you have people who, say for an example, get thrown in there for, let's say, oh, I know, um, you might have somebody who has a firearm, right? Legally, so-called legally, I say this sarcastically, of course. Um, they have their gun license and all that. So Esau knows that that person has that firearm, but somebody can steal it and go commit a crime, and then the person who owns the gun, they'll be the one who gets locked up because they can look up the gun by the serial number and see, well, look, this person owns it, but they can't prove it. That guy went out and did it, but since the crime was done with his gun, they'll lock his ass up, but yet they can't prove that he did it. Say for an example, if you're in a high-speed chase, right? And you had nothing to do with it. You're just, say, for example, a guy commits robbery and then he um, gets in a taxi, right? Just giving an example. And he tells the guy to speed off. And then, 5 police cars come after him. The guy driving the taxi didn't have anything to do with it. But when the police come, they'll take the guy who drove the taxi and the one who committed the crime. And they'll put them both in prison. Now, if the one guy can be proven to be innocent, then they'll let him out. But still, though, they'll take the one who had nothing to do with it, and the one who really did it. So guess what? That means that you so-called white people, that means you guys are all going into slavery then for what you did to our forefathers. Okay, that's what that means, man. Okay, I always bring this up. So how is it that you can have 4 people in the car, one of them is innocent, but since he's in the same car as all the ones who are guilty of the supposed crime, they're all going to be put in prison. So should we not do the same thing to you white people then? Say for example, you might have somebody who's in America who, let's say, is who is not down with what's going on. So we speak about the destruction of this place. Is it just that they should be caught up in it? And the answer is yes, because they're over here. Okay? So, just like, for an example, scriptures say, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life, they were cast into the lake of fire. So what about those who live in a third world country, which, there's few of them now that don't know about Christianity, but there's certain tribes who have no contact with the outside world, who don't even believe in Christianity, but they're going to be cast into the lake of fire too. Okay? Which, not every single person is going to be thrown into the lake of fire. who's wicked. That's not necessarily true, because the lake of fire is referring to America after the return of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But again, you're not going to get this breakdown from those Christian churches, right? The harlot house is what it is. All right, the false prophet, which is the Catholic Church, and once again, that goes back to all the Christian denominations and world religions, because they all stem from the Catholic Church, which is the false prophet in the Book of Revelation. Um, but again, man, America is going to be rewarded, and the scriptures say, yeah, reward her double, double according to her works. Yeah, so you're going to get paid back double. All right, look at the wickedness that the United States brought to the world. All right, these other nations, say for example Saudi Arabia, over there, the women over there are underneath men. All right, but now the women over there are being liberated to a point where they can drive a vehicle, and start doing things without men's permission. Okay, which that's against the scriptures. But again, that's the as the scriptures say, that the nations were made drunk with, or fornication. And again, for you peons out there, that's not talking about the Catholic Church. That's talking about America. For you unlearned idiots out there in the Christian Church, right? Talking about that in Revelation 12, right? The dragon and the woman, saying that the dragon is talking about Satan, right? Just like like that one guy. I was just watching a stream yesterday from I believe it was Elder Apostle Gabar and a few other elders on there. It was about maybe two and a half hours long. Um, it was about Revelation, the 12th chapter. So I gave it a whole watch. I watched the whole thing, and they broke it down perfectly, man. Hopefully, perfectly makes historical sense. Okay, but you'll get Christians on there. Oh well, that's talk about Satan, right? And I can understand why they might think that, because that's how they brought up in the Christian church to think of, well, yeah, Satan's a dragon. Now, where does it say that in the scriptures? That's just the way that you were brought up. It has nothing to do with what the scriptures actually teach. But you see, that's just the way guys were brought up. Okay? Say, for example, you ask somebody, oh, well, why are you a Muslim? Well, a lot of them will say, well, it's because I was brought up Muslim. Okay, so that's why a lot of people believe what they believe, because they were brought up in the Christian church. I was brought up in the Christian church. I was a Catholic and a Seventh-day Adventist. Okay? So I was brought up in the church like a lot of you brothers were. Okay, but then we figured out that, yeah, that the Bible is true. That is true, that the scriptures are true. That is a fact, historically proven to be accurate, and we know it to be true by the things written in there. Okay? So that's not really a debate on, is the scriptures true. The scriptures are true. Um, However, the doctrine of the Christian church is false, right? That this all-loving God who loves everybody, that's not true. That that isn't true, man. The God of the Bible does love. That is true. Um, and to prove that, um, we all know the story about Christ, right? How the Most High sent his Son, who the world calls Christ, to die for the nation of Israel, or they say the world, but it's really Israel. Um, what is that? John, I believe it's 1 John chapter 15, verse 13.